Happy Tuesday to you all. I hope you all are doing well. I've got some progress to show. I did finish up the Waiting in the Railyard by Kingdom Death, and she turned out really well. I like the way she finished up. I could have done some more highlights on her boots. Could have raised the leather up a little bit more, but I felt overall she was in a good spot, and so I decided to quit painting. And because there gets a point, at least with my skill level, where I run just as much chance of messing up the figure as I do of finishing it. And so she's all done. The cover art, the box art had her bare-legged, but I figured if she's wearing a jacket like that and 2 layers, that shirt looks really comfy, and those big high boots and having a steaming cup of coffee like that she'd get cold if she just had bare legs. And so I figured I'd throw that on there. And then it does kind of go contrapositive with the grass there, but I figured that's, if she's at a business place, then that's probably just fake grass. They don't want to bother mowing it. But she's sitting there looking at her watch. I painted her face pretty well and got some good makeup even on her, which is still a foreign concept to me. And then put those glasses on, you can't see it for nothing. But whatever. But all in all, she turned out pretty well. I found for my Kingdom Death figures that if I leave them too long in the box, they never get to this stage, and so I just need to pull things out and paint them a little quicker. I did paint a Warhammer figure. I got the Techno archaeologist painted up. He's for my Mechanicum force. They're in the Ryza colors, but I didn't know Ryza existed before I picked orange and white. You can look back at some of my other videos about my AdMech, and they're painted up in Tennessee Volunteer colors just because of a very bad pun, which I'm just not going to get into right now. I'm actually using them in fighting. I'm in an escalation league for an escalation crusade league at my local gaming store, and so I've got all the AdMech that I've already got painted, and then I bought this guy over Christmas time to get him painted up, and just because I wanted something for my AdMech force. I ordered this guy. This is the Scari Marshall, and he's starting to turn out pretty well. I need to finish up his base. I just used the Grelin Earth technical paint from GW and a sepia wash, a sepia ink. Let's see, this one is the burnt umber, but this is not the one I used. It's a little darker than the sepia, but it's just these artist inks, and I dilute it and I put it over the base, and there it is. Oops, dropping stuff all over the place. Where's this black? Nope, there's the sepia. That is the sepia wash. But it gives a nice brown, dried mud appearance of like a rad scoured earth. See, this is still a little shiny. You can see where the Grelin Earth will flake off the base if you're not careful. And so I used some diluted PVA glue on this after I put the wash on. And even before I got the wash on, this one's already starting to lose little bits, and so I'm going to have to go back and do that as well on this guy. He'll need the matte varnish because the GW shades and glosses, they're a little shiny. Building up a 5-man Ruststalker Infiltrator, the Infiltrator unit with taser goads, just because I need some mobility and deep strike capability for these guys, for my army. Most of what I have it was great during the 8th edition and early 9th, but for 10th edition, the AdMech Codex is a little changed, and there are a lot of really negative naysayers out there on the AdMech Codex, and joke's on them. I've been a horrible general for long enough to where it doesn't matter if the Codex is bad or good, I'll still lose. But yeah, that one will turn out well. I hope. These guys were a little finicky to build. I wasn't sure about painting them. Like originally I had their undersuits here all black, and that just looked too bland, and so I went back in with a beige brown, and that's made it look a little better. And I think with a wash, that'll be good enough. I'm not painting these up to a very high standard, just because they're just going to be actual gaming pieces. And I've got another 5 in the works, so I can get a whole squad of 10 for the Crusade rules. You get like a requisition point for every. You can spend for every battle you're in, and then if you fulfill some other requirements or whatever, and then you can spend those on upping your roster. And when you up your roster, you can add a group. And a group of 10 is almost the full 200 point boost you can give to your roster, and so that would be good. And leave me with a little space so I could either add another character, or like the Scari Marshall, wherever he went. There he is. He could come in with the Rust Stalkers just about. I think they're about the same point value. They would add up to 200. I also built the Bandai really small Razor Crest, and I mean, just obviously see I just dry brushed it steel of Vallejo Model Air steel, or overbrushed it, and picked out the windows. I think honestly I'm just going to put the stickers on this one, just because you could go. The detail on this one, you could go pretty crazy on it and really work it on. You can see I picked out a couple panels with a lighter silver just to give a little, well, just to try to give it a little bit of difference. But looking at it, I think if I just do a very light dry brush of a slightly higher level metallic, and put the stickers on, that'll be more than enough for this thing. And just put it in the display cabinet, because I could spend forever on this and make it look pretty cool. I'm sure there are people out there, because it's a simple model putting it together. You could probably find ways to light it up with some LEDs and everything. But just the Bandai kits are just good all around. So if you can get you a Star Wars Bandai kit, go for it. But yeah, there's that. Still got some stuff to build up and paint for AdMech. I've got all my Kingdom Death stuff that still needs to be painted up. So I got a lot of things. I think I'm going to... I bought a couple of just boxless sprues from a Kingdom Death sale a few years ago. And these are the Explorer Maids or Adventurer Maid pair. Because who doesn't put on a maid's outfit and go into the deepest, darkest dungeons on a weekend? But we'll see how these turn out. These look like they will be fun to paint up, and even have the little cat ear heads. But very different than the Grimdark. It's still Grimdark, Kingdom Death is, but it's definitely different Grimdark than the Warhammer 40k aesthetic. Speaking of Warhammer, I did finish all of the Siege of Terra books. Very fun, very good reads. Some of them are better than others. Dan Abnett books are, of course, my favorite. Just his writing style jives with my reading style, and so I just like the way he does stuff. But I won't give any spoilers, other than, of course, that Horus dies and the Emperor gets put on the Golden Throne. I mean, obviously, but yeah, it was an interesting read through. I won't talk about the sales and the not getting my last 2 collector's edition books for the set, just because I'll get angry and then I'll go full AM radio political head shouting. So we'll skip that. Anyway, I hope you guys are having fun. It's been a good week for me so far, even though it's only Tuesday. And hopefully I can get some more painting done. Painting done before the end of the month. I'll see you guys later, and hope that you have a wonderful and exciting day. Adios.